Awesome. And we're away. Thanks, Craig, for joining me. You've been here for a wee while now. I think that you were one of the first, actually. Yeah.
I was. I joined back in 2019, and I think I had my first conversation with an EXP person with Stephen Lee, who was then the growth leader in Australia. The day he got off the plane from accepting the new role from returning from the US.
Oh, I didn't know that up until this point.
Yep.
Oh, my goodness. And because I remember our first conversation very well, and you had already been looking into it. You had been studying it. You'd spoken to people in the US. It was amazing. And you were basically, where do I sign? What made you make that decision?
Yeah, well, I came across it probably. I'm relatively new to real estate, having started in 2017, and I did a lot of research on what was happening in the US, and I engaged a few providers of lead generation systems and follow-up systems in the US, and I kept seeing EXP over and over and over, and it was just one of those things where it keeps bashing you in the head. I did ask the question, and once I saw it, I thought it basically had ticked all the boxes of the things that I was looking for. So I was super excited. So that's why I was bugging people in the US and Stephen to get involved the minute it launched. So I was not going to wait 1 minute.
What were some of the, I guess, tick boxes that you were, because you were doing business before you got into real estate. So you've got that solid, I guess, background, knowledge and understanding, which is one of the things that I think is part of what you do and in its beauty. What were some of those, I guess, tick boxes? What were the things that you were looking for?
I guess, there's a number of factors. There's the straight real estate business aspect of it. So one was, for me, operating independently was something that came fairly natural to me, probably because I've been doing it a long time and I'm an independent person. So
you are.
Yeah. But so the EXP back of house allowed me to run my business in a really efficient manner. So it was cheap, efficient, no restrictions. So that aspect really was of high interest and value to me. So it was going to be a lot cheaper than me doing it myself. I was always going to be by myself.
Yeah, that's one key point.
If I was to run and look for those services and that support and pay for it myself, it would cost me a bucket load more. And the beauty of this is that it's incredibly cheap. You use what you need when you need it. You can turn it off should you need to. So you're not employing staff, but you've got the support of this enormous back end that you wouldn't otherwise have. So
trust accounting. I like that too.
Yeah. So the other aspect for me was the leveraging and the capacity to build a team without actually employing them. So my background is I've employed people for 20 years, and I didn't really want to go back down that road, but I like the leveraging aspect of having people in your team. So being able to grow a team was highly appealing to me. So there was that aspect, and then also having a slice of the pie. So share ownership, taking a slice, as I mentioned. You can grow that over time. And build a pretty substantial asset. So that was highly valuable too to me.
Yeah, I think that was one of my key points as well, was that I always wanted to open my own office, but I never really wanted that, I guess, that risk factor and all the nightmares that go along with staff and all of that. And then, of course, there's the overheads as well. And that, that big investment, when you can do it like this, it just makes a lot of sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, it does. I think if we're looking now at the way business is being done broadly, not even just within real estate, but generally speaking, technology is available now that allows us to work remotely. and to cut overhead. So overhead is the killer in traditional bricks and mortar real estate, as in a lot of traditional industries from the sector that I came from, which was overhead heavy. I could see that really quickly, and you could see the overheads that the bricks and mortar offices are running. And on the surface, it all looks great. You've got a nice shiny office with a big sign on a high street, but that doesn't necessarily pay the bills. In fact, all it is a millstone around your neck.
Particularly right now, particularly in Victoria.
Yeah, exactly. The meter keeps running on those overheads. With EXP, there are no overheads. So you can, I mean, of course, in real estate, you do have periods when you make more than others, and sometimes not much. The beauty of EXP is that if you're having a period where maybe you've taken a break or things aren't flowing as well as you might have liked, you're not bleeding on the other end with overheads. Yeah. So that's highly appealing.
I like that. Now, one thing, obviously, I want to talk about, because I want to do a little bit of a share here. For those that are listening, I think have a lot to learn from someone like you, and don't let your humble self kick in right now. But you've got some big announcements about you as an agent coming. You tell everybody, for the sake of listening, what it is that you do in real estate, how you do it. And then I just want you to touch a little bit on the social media side of things within that as well, because I think it's pretty incredible, Craig.
Thanks. So my business predominantly is not like the typical. So I'm not doing that much established real estate. I did start out that way, but I guess I saw that as I was spending 70 or 80% of my time seeking opportunities, so prospecting, and maybe 10 to 20, 30% actually doing the job that I felt like was paying me. So I did flip that, and I looked at project management and development management off the plan sales, because in that aspect there is it's a fair bit easier to get stock, but also very difficult to sell. But I was pretty confident that with the methods that I would employ, I would be able to generate enough opportunities to get enough sales. So my point of difference is social media. And the reason I looked at that was, I guess social media tends to get the unintended buyer, and it creates a lot of people at the top of the funnel. So there's a bucket load of people going into this funnel, whereas the more traditional, although they're only recently traditional methods of the real estate portals like REA, Domain, and others, they are getting the intentional buyer. So someone that's actually going to seek a property in a particular suburb, where I can actually seek that person out. So I can target the clientele that I expect will be interested in the project that I'm offering, and target my adverts to those people. And it works really well.
I know it does, because I approve everything in the background.
There's a fair bit of work, but my work is very automated. So I run automated trailing email, text, voicemail systems. So I'm not actually on the phone nagging people. I move them through the funnel in an automated way, and they drop out and they announce themselves at the end. So I'll get the call or the message saying, I'm interested in X. So then the whole dynamic has shifted. I'm not nagging them, they're coming to me. It's a different game.
I remember just before Christmas last year, you had this project that you were working on. And I think there was something ridiculous like 10 contracts in the space of just a few short weeks that came my way. And they had not really even been advertised really anywhere apart from your method of advertising, and not through any of the major platforms or funnels that one would expect.
Yeah, well, no, it wasn't. So that particular project was a $33 million project. That was done with another agent. I had 24 sales in that project in about 10 or 11 weeks. So it's like we consider in real estate, it's not on market if it's not on REA. and I would challenge that view. And I think we've become a little lazy as real estate agents, that we just think, well, we've got some stock, let's just go and throw it on these portals. And we assume that that will do the job, and it doesn't always. And the world's changed a bit, and there are other ways of doing things. That's not to pull REA out of the equation. It's still
it has its place.
Necessary, absolutely has its place, but there are other ways of doing things too. So Instagram, Facebook, incredibly powerful, and then working your database.
I agree. I recently changed to from a premier listing, which a lot of people believe in and are absolutely religious on, and I've used both before. And against my will, almost, was switched to a standard. And rather than get fussy about it or go and get my own REA account, which I could have done because I'm with EXP, I can, do a lot of things, which is cool. But I just went, all right, I've sold this before. I know how it works. Do I really believe that my people should be paying $2,000 per ad? Probably not. But yeah, there are lots of, I guess, different reasons as to why, and lots of different platforms that you can now be selling houses on. And there's certainly the Instagram and the Facebook that are powerful. I've even heard people and agents talk about selling houses off Snapchat, which I would not even have the foggiest. So, and you say that you've been in real estate for a short time. When was it again that you started? You had about a couple of years experience when you came?
August 2017, I started.
Well done, Craig. Well done.
Well, thanks. I think real estate really is, it's all we're doing is we're selling a product. So we're marketers, and the product here happens to be property, but it doesn't really matter. The principles remain the same, that you're marketing a product for a client. So we're providing a solution. So that's what I see that I do for my clients, who are by and large developers. So I'm providing their problem is they've got a large exposure, like they might have a 20, 30, 40, 50 or a $90 million even project that they're exposed to. Their problem is they need to move that stock. So they come to people that can provide a solution.
Yeah.
I would hope that I'm providing that solution.
I love it. That's really cool. And I guess just lastly, any advice? Anyone who's listening, who's, we live in Victoria, so it might be different for some of us than others, but any advice? What are some of the things that you see people doing or that you've done yourself that you would undo, or any advice that you would give?
Well, firstly, around EXP, if I was thinking about, if I was looking at trying to maximise what I was earning, there'd be no question I wouldn't be anywhere but here. It's a no-brainer. My son works in marketing for an accounting firm, and they had recently a guy from a large Melbourne franchise that had a GCO of 450 last year, and he was wanting accounting advice and some solution to his problem, and he was netting 40% out of that. And I just thought, I can't believe the insanity in this, that he's leaving 300K near on the table.
That's a line you often say to me. I just cannot believe this.
I can't believe it. And I think what I would, if there's any advice I'd be giving to people would be back yourself in and be a little brave, that it's nowhere near as difficult as what it might seem. And I think I've seen a lot of people not jump because they let the fear of the unknown prevent them from taking that action. And they think the little things of running your business is a lot more difficult than what it is. It really isn't. You're doing exactly the same as what you're doing now. Go and do
all the support.
Yeah, that's right. There's a bucket load of support, whether it be in the EXP corporate team or even just within the agent network. People are incredibly available. So I don't think you're alone. You're not out, even though you're on your own, you're not alone.
Independent and not alone.
Exactly. So don't be scared and fearful. Take the jump, because you'll be rewarded financially, and I feel like you'll also be rewarded with lifestyle that you'll be able to pick and choose. I've just been out for a run. So
I was about to say, you were just out running before.
we spoke on the phone. I've just thrown a shirt on. I was sweating. I've been out for a run. So if I was working in the local franchise office, I'm not doing that. I'm looking like Rob Davis here with the jacket and tie on. Instead, it's a more casual lifestyle. You can run your own race. And I don't think anybody will regret that.
I like that. Run your own race. That's mic drop moment. All right. Thanks, Craig. I'm going to let everybody know the nuts and bolts, ins and outs now. And if you want to stop your camera, I can do it if you need. And I will do a share screen. Everybody can see my screen, hopefully. All right. Welcome to All Things EXP Australia. For those that have been listening into myself and Craig's conversation, it was a good one this afternoon. Thanks very much, Craig, for all of your gold nuggets. And I love that. Run your own race. That's very EXP. Let's get stuck into it. There are lots of different ways to join EXP. We are talking to sort of large teams and business owners. That's another conversation aside from today in itself. Of course, we are licensed in all of the 5 states that you see on the screen. Clearly, we would need trust accounts for those as well. A couple of different ways that people are choosing to join is either as an independent contractor. So for that, you would need your full license. Craig is obviously an independent contractor. That does allow you to have your own brand powered by or in association with EXP. However, commission-only agents, on the independent contractor, you would need to carry your own insurances, have your full license, of course. Commission-only agents, a lot of our agents are, I guess, using their name more as their own brand. You will see subject to eligibility there. And that just means that over the last 3 years, inside of a 12-month time frame, any commission-only agent will need to prove that they have earned $60,000 in sales commissions or more. So, as I said, I did really want to jump into the nuts and bolts. You've heard Craig's story. I've shared a little bit of mine. There are no desk fees here. There are no royalty fees or franchise fees. I guess I like to refer back to myself and Craig's conversation. You're independent, but you're absolutely not alone here. It's a vehicle to do business, whether that be yourself as a commission-only agent or you want to sort of park your brand with EXP and have all of that support. So everybody starts off at a 75-25 commission split. That is on the first $100,000. Now, one of the light bulb moments that somebody recently had that I was talking to, and they really didn't understand, we have a capped model here at EXP. That is very different to a lot of the other models that you will see out there. What that means is you will only ever pay that $25,000 out of your commission to EXP inside of that 12-month time frame. So if you write $1 million, you keep $975. If you write 500, you keep $475. Yes, it's absolutely fair and it is super cool. So, of course, that goes back to 75 once your calendar year re-clicks over. And, of course, you know, we've got agents that are capping sometimes within 12 weeks. So they would then maintain 100% of their own commission for the next 9 months. There are only 3 standard costs to EXP. So it's $199 plus GST. That's your initial startup fee. And we have people in the background that will guide you through that onboarding scenario and help you get all set up and whatever partners you need, and we'll go into that a little bit more in a moment. $199 plus GST is a monthly service fee. Now that gives you everything that you require in order to do real estate business. You may require other bits and pieces, and again, I will go into that. And then of course there's the transaction fee or settlement management fee, which is $250 plus GST. No, it's not a huge fee, and that's only when you transact. And of course, as I said and referred to before, all of the trust accounting is done inside of that fee as well. Now, when Craig was talking before, he was talking about equity opportunities and, becoming a shareholder or being a shareholder in the business. Of course, we are a publicly listed company on the NASDAQ, and everybody who is a part of EXP, I have never brought a single share in this company, guys. I just want to be really upfront and honest. Yet, I get to check my phone once every couple of months because I get a little letter in the mail and I have new shares. And that's pretty cool, because we're all in this together. It's agent owned, and of course, it's also agent grown. We also have a sustainable equity plan, all right? So that means that you would get shares in your first transaction, shares when you fully cap, and we talked about growing a team. If you introduce anybody else and they do their first transaction, you'll also get shares. The Icon Award program, I will go into a little bit more as we move forward. However, what it basically means is once you cap and then do either 20 transactions on top of that or hit a certain GCI, EXP will give you what you've paid us basically back in shares. Of course, we'll ask a few things of you for that and part of the cultural goals. Craig talked about collaboration. That's, I guess, a major for me inside of EXP because everybody here is here to collaborate. The Icon agents actually deliver amazing training every single week and share all of their golden nuggets with the rest of the team. And that's the way that EXP is set up. It's really, really cool. We've also got the agent equity program. So I'm not actually part of it, but I am starting to scratch my head thinking maybe I should be. You can elect to have 5% of every net transaction commission that you earn, I guess, purchase in stock at a 10% discount. So you can choose to opt in or opt out of that. There's no issues there. That's just a little bit more there on the Icon program, how that all works. And some of our icons, and we're missing one awesome person from this lineup. So we better not forget to mention Mr. Lee Martinuzzi, who has just icons last week. Congratulations, Lee. We better add you to this amazing lineup of quality agents who are delivering some great training. Now, one of the major reasons that I personally joined EXP, and you heard me say this, was I've always wanted to open up an office. I've never wanted to fork out $500,000 to do that, take on, in my opinion, a lot of risk, a lot of overhead, and of course, all the headaches that go along with staff and actually running their office. However, EXP allows me to do that, and here's how they allow me to do that. So every single agent that I introduce or I have a conversation with, I know a lot of people in the industry that I believe could benefit from something like this and have more in their back pocket, and they might want to grow a team as well. If they choose to join me or join my particular team, and I want to reiterate here that you're choosing them to be a sponsor, you're choosing them to be a leader, you are choosing them to guide these people, to help them have an amazing business and an amazing life. But if we choose to do that, of course, and give, we can be rewarded at the same time. So Craig, I'm actually Craig's sponsor, and thank goodness, because he's phenomenal. So if you look at Mr. Orange here, I'm Mr. Orange, and then Craig's Mr. White. I can introduce 20 Craigs, 100 Craigs, and I'm certainly going to, over time, hopefully have an amazing team, and it is growing day by day. So we're up to 65,000+ agents globally at the moment. So we'll talk more on that in a minute. We also have cascading revenue share. So anybody who Craig chooses to introduce, I also benefit from that, because everybody here has the same equal opportunity to, of course, grow a team, be a mentor, which I think is really cool. I do want to reiterate, however, that whilst the screen looks pretty cool and the next one is even better, in order to open up all 7 tiers, you would need to introduce 40+ agents. Now, it's pretty interesting looking at, some of the major people within EXP that, are earning huge revenue shares. Some of them have really only opened up tier 3 or tier 4. which I actually personally found interesting myself the other day, yet they have thousands within their team. So just a little bit of an example there of what that could look like if you introduced 10 and then that doubled and then that doubled again. And again here, that is 100 plus the 80 plus 35. And of course, the disclaimer along with it, so that we all know and understand that not everybody's going to have the same results. I think all of us here as real estate agents know and understand that what we put in, we absolutely get out of our businesses. Of course, we like to give a lot of recognition to our agents. We like to celebrate our people. We have our national monthly awards and meetings. And most certainly we have state by state meetings with licensees and things like that, just to make sure that everybody has everything that they need in order to do business. Lulu Live is a partnership that we have. We understand that whilst we don't do property management ourselves, independent contractors may choose to still grow a property management portfolio, or they actually may already have one already. Perhaps they don't have time to run that. They might want that run outside of the space that they're in currently and sort of park it and not worry about it. But the other thing is, we at EXP would like you to retain 100% of your portfolio. And of course, there are lots of other platforms out there that certainly offer you different things inside of property management. However, I maintain that I would like all of our business partners, because they're not our agents, they're our business partners, to have access to something like this where they still get to be 100% the boss and keep that entire asset. I personally, as an agent, think that that's only fair. So let's get stuck into some of our services so that you absolutely know what you're going to get for that $200. We communicate through Workplace by Facebook. So Workplace by Facebook is actually a platform that I probably didn't pay a lot of attention to at the beginning. I thought, oh, another app. But actually I get access to 65,000 people plus. I mean, I can ring the CEO right now overseas. I can talk to, and I do talk to, a lot of people in India, in the USA. I was on a Zoom the other day with someone in Germany. So that's pretty cool. I also have access to the EXP University, different referral groups. I'm working on a really big sale at the moment through one of those referral groups. So that's pretty awesome as well, guys. We also use Agent Box for our CRM system. So I think it was 70% out of the top 100 agents across Australia, I think that was the stat, actually use this particular platform. As an agent, I really don't mind which CRM system I'm going to use, so long as it's easy to use. It has automation to it that I can utilise, and I'm not going to get bogged down with admin, because most of us as agents don't really love admin. I've found Agent Box pretty easy to use myself, and I've created a series of little videos for the agents that have made it really simple for them to use as well. So I think it was also Tom Panos that said that Agent Box is a really good platform. However, it does integrate with a lot of the things that you see here on the screen. So not only does it integrate with REA Group and also Domain, EXP Australia, I don't really utilise Campaign Track myself. Campaign Flow is available to you. Personally, I use Conveni, but a lot of the agents here use Campaign Flow. That's your third-party marketing. Listing Logic is not something that you actually get for your $200. However, that is a platform that I personally, as an agent, find really super for me. I can put lead generation attached to that. They will do just pure lead generation for me. And also in the background, with Listing Logic, they can do a whole bunch of other things. Basically, whatever I've asked them to do, they've delivered. So I love using that platform, and I've also found quite cost competitive in the marketplace. I have used some other people Glen Twiddle's another one that comes to mind that's been really good in terms of making sure that I get those leads coming through. Proposal point, something that the agents choose to use. It's not something that is involved in the $200. However, I think it's around $40 per month. It just makes everything look pretty when you send through that report. CoreLogic RP data goes without saying, guys. You absolutely need that. We do have an upgrade for that here in Victoria because the privacy laws are slightly different. Live forms. I do not run around and have forms signed, even if I'm sitting at somebody's living room table, which in Victoria, not so much at the moment. I will still send an e-signature form for them to sign that will pop straight to their mobile. I just find it easier now that I've made that switch over the last few years. I just really wouldn't want to go back to paper now. Active Pipe, that's actually a nurture system for databases. I personally used to use that. I have this changed, and I will go into that in a moment. Home Pass, also available for our agents, anybody who wants that. So we've got some really cool things, guys, that are involved here, and some of the additional extras, whatever it is that you need for your business. I need a website, I need marketing people, I need lead generation, I need live forms, I need a nurture campaign. Of course, we believe that it's our job, and of course the people around you, to help you have that amazing business, right? So that you can also have that lifestyle, as Craig was talking about. So we do have that lead migration model. And I do want to touch on this because I did say that I was using Active Pipe prior. So I use Listing Logic at the moment. I've only just recently changed for my lead generation. That obviously goes into Agent Box. And then I have actually left behind Active Pipe at the moment. Some of our agents are using both. And switching across to Rita. Now, a lot of our agents have found that Rita is really pretty cool in terms of, flicking out a lot of those leads from the database. So, proposal point, that's what it looks like. There's your solution there. It's around $40 a month. I use a Word version myself. I'd rather put the extra 40 into lead gen, but hey, beauty of EXP is that you actually get to decide, right? And then you've got your EXP Agent Hub. So we clearly need a space where everything is housed. I don't tend to open my computer. I'm going to be honesty moment here. Most of the time I'm using my phone. So my Agent Hub is pinned to my mobile, and even if I'm out and about, whatever I need access to, I have on the road. That is so important for me. If I couldn't have that, or I didn't have that, I don't know how impressed I would be. But this houses absolutely everything from our agent icon training to getting into the forms that you might need, absolutely everything. So it's pretty cool. My EXP, now that is again something that I can check on my phone. We have a little app there, and it basically lets me know where my team is at. So as a director or a principal or someone that's growing a team, lets me know where all the agents are at, commissions, how much revenue I'm about to be paid out for the month. I call them Magical Money Fridays because they are. All I'm doing is sharing something that I think is amazing as a platform. It really is. So I just want to give you a little bit of stationery, if you will, just a viewpoint across that. You've got EXP here. You've got the lovely Bjorn. He's a commission-only agent. He's under just the EXP brand. I'm actually an independent contractor. I did co-brand and then chose to unbrand. Beauty is, again, you can do whatever you like. You've got the Hardens here in the middle. Now they are co-branded, so you'll have Harden Property powered by or in association with EXP. I love the black. That I use that for my cards, my signboards, everything. And then you've got another sort of co-brand scenario there. There's your signboard. So you might be Purple Property or, I don't know, Pineapple Property. You might have bright golden boards that it might be in association with or powered by EXP. That can be facilitated. You know, you might already have your own brand and you're just looking for somewhere to park your business. Again, I love the black in the middle there. That's how I originally chose to sort of co-brand. And then again, you've just got your normal EXP Australia. Hopefully you guys have seen already from myself and Craig having a little bit of a chat that, you know, a lot of the core values we've already shown you. There's certainly lots of collaboration and fun and in service and helping people, and certainly a lot of innovation. We're always looking for what's the cool thing, the next thing, because we have to for our agents. We want all of them to have, you know, as our business partners, we want them to have a great business and a great time here and be really happy. So go back to the person who invited you here today. If you do have any further questions, I'm not hard to, I guess, find if you do want to have a conversation with me on the phone. You can hop into expaustralia.com.au and hit the join EXP, go down to become an agent and then start that process. You can't break anything if you do that. It does not lock you into anything. EXP is risk-free. As an independent contractor, I can actually choose to leave with my entire database, all of my current sales, all of my solds on REA, absolutely everything. So do not be fearful. You can't break it. You can't mess it up. If you want to head down that road and start filling out some of that information, we will be in touch basically as soon as you hit that send button. So I want to thank everybody who has come today. What I will do is stop the share and the record.